So today we have Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead taking on Joel Miller from The Last of Us. Who wins? Let's find out. So, we gotta talk about strength. Joel was a physical beast. He routinely overpowered men when they had all the leverage. He's crushed and damaged skulls with his blows and with his stomps. He's moved heavy things like full dumpsters, furniture, and helped move a full-on piano and pickup truck. Even forced open barricaded doors. He's even physically fought against, restrained, and killed runners, stalkers, and clickers with just his bare hands. He could even take on a group of runners by himself. And Henry even said that he hits hard. But Rick easily broke bones, bit a guy's ear off, took out small hordes of walkers single-handedly with a melee weapon, one-shotting each of them, and bashed in skulls. Given that Joel is physically bulkier and that clickers and even runners are more physically threatening than walkers are, I'd say Joel is stronger. Moving on to durability. Rick was able to fight against the governor with a broken hand, but that's nothing. He survived being pierced through the stomach by some metal rebar, followed by a massive explosion. He survived this. However, Joel ignored a fall down an elevator shaft and survived falling on a piece of metal that pierced through his stomach. He walked off, jumping off a bridge into a lake or a river, and then hitting his head on a big rock. And when he woke up, he was fine. No damage at all to his head. He also endured brutal and savage beatings from the wolves, which included having his knee obliterated by a shotgun before they eventually killed him. They both have endured and survived things that's not typically humanly possible. Let's just say they're equal here. And both of them have evaded and dodged bullets before as well. So let's move on to skill. This will involve hand-to-hand combat and marksmanship. Before the apocalypse, Rick was a sheriff, and as such, received training to be a sheriff. He bested Negan and was able to fight against Shane while holding back, and the governor while with a broken hand. And he's nailed consistent repetitive headshots with every firearm he's ever used in this series, whether it was with his Python, handguns, shotguns, submachine guns, assault rifles, you get it. But Joel showed to be a skilled and brutal brawler, being able to land fast and strong punches to quickly kill people and runners and all sorts of infected. He knows how to use his environment to his advantage as well. He is also a skilled marksman. So despite Rick being actually trained, I actually think Joel is better in close quarters hand-to-hand combat. Because Rick couldn't beat Shane, and the governor would have killed Rick if it wasn't for Michonne. However, Rick is the better marksman. Joel's accuracy kind of depends on the player, while Rick lives in a world where the greatest threat to humanity can only be killed by physical brain trauma, so being shot in the head. So bullets have to hit the head, like I said. That differs from the world that Joel lived in, as runners and whatnot could be killed by strangulation or snapping their neck, or just shooting them in the chest a couple of times, But anyways, both of them are really good at stealth as well, due to walkers being attracted to sounds and clickers' echolocation. Rick carries his iconic Python, and he appears to like using a hatchet as well. He might also have a knife on him. But Joel has an arsenal, like a whole armory in his backpack. I don't know how he carries all of it. He carries several firearms, a bow and arrow, shivs, molotovs, nail bombs, smoke bombs, bottles and or bricks, and maybe some kind of melee weapon as well. Like I said, an arsenal. He also has an incredibly sharp hearing, as he could accurately pinpoint enemy locations even through walls and over long distances. So, who wins? Well, Joel does. I'm just gonna side with Joel. He's just got more advantages and just more dangerous in general. Rick showed he can be scary. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of times throughout the series where he went psycho crazy and just started murdering people and walkers and going on a warpath and whatnot. But that's nothing on Joel. He's stronger. He's more brutal, and he has his arsenal with his sharpened sense, with his sharpened hearing. He also lived in a far more dangerous and toxic world for a much longer period of time. Runners, stalkers, clickers, bloaters, shamblers, whatever Abby fought at the end of the second game. That just makes for not to mention the spores, and it just makes for a much dangerous world than the world that Rick has had to live in, than the apocalypse that Rick is living in. Um, uh, he is just a force of nature. I mean, he single-handedly wiped out more or less the rest of the Fireflies, a resistance group that the military had been struggling with for nearly 20 years. Rick is tough and can be deadly, but Joe was far more dangerous. Joe Miller wins. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you thought and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. I truly do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.